All right. And welcome, everybody, to our very first episode of Shadow City Mysteries, House of Skye. I'm Christopher Mifsud. I'm the CEO and creative director at Playworn Studios. But most importantly, for this session, I am the game master. I'll go into some credits, but first, I want you to meet all of our awesome players that are here with us tonight. So we're going to start from the top, and we'll work our way like a clock. So Quinn Copperpaw or Katie Downey, please introduce yourself.
My name is Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. I am your friendly neighborhood ginger shenanigator. I am very excited to be playing Quinn Copperpaw this evening. Quinn is a kind of a rough and tumble type, and I'm excited to see how they fit in. You can find me on all the socials at Goblin Katie or on Blue Sky at goblinkatie.com.
Awesome. Hey. Matthew Bell, Farank Tern.
Farank Tern. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This has been a lot of excitement and build-up leading up to this evening, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah, so Farank Tern, fresh out of law school, Society of Ravens. He's a face. He's a lawyer, and he's probably in over his head, but you know what? He's going to do his best.
All right. Thank you, Matthew. And now we have Ariel as Reggie Wrenne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ariel Kasten, an actor, musician, podcaster, and geek. You can find me on socials at Ariel Kasten. I'm playing Reggie Wrenne. She's, by day she's a musician, and at night she's, you could call her a sneak thief or a gatherer of information.
Very important. And Winston, Peryn Kestai.
Hi, I'm Winston Clark. I will be playing Peryn Kestai. He is an acolyte member of the Church of Astra, and you can find me as far as my socials. I've got a webcomic that I do that's called thesubconsciouseye.com or Subconscious Eye. You can go there, and my socials are under the Subconscious Eye.
Very cool. And Raven, played by Mandy.
Hello, my name is Mandy. I am playing Raven, who is an infiltrator from the East End. She has a lot of secrets and likes to collect a lot of secrets. Look forward to playing.
Awesome. And last but not least, Matt Walsh, Ignatus.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt Walsh. I'm playing Ignatus Ibison. He is a savant, and he thinks he's the most intelligent person in the room, even though he usually isn't. He also wears some creepy sunglasses all the time. So,
all right, cool. Well, and to do some credits real fast, so I don't forget all about that. So, besides myself as the game master, behind the scenes we have Stephen Cheney and Brenda Stoddard, and also Robert Stoddard, who's designed our tarot deck, which may or may not come into play at some point in time during this season. We also have amazing art by our good friend Adam, and we have more art by Luana, and we have all of our awesome UI and splash screens done by Floor. You can check out their credits and their links in the awesome places down below in descriptions. Find all of that. All right. So let's jump into it. If you haven't had the chance to, there have been some awesome one-on-ones with all of the players, which kind of gave us a quick introduction, which now brings us to where we are today and now. So let me set the scene for everybody. Shadow City is a monochromatic, shadow-filled place of not so happiness. We'll say the best description is it's a clockwork noir that's Blade Runner by way of Lovecraft Country, set in a Frank Miller sort of world. So think black and white with punches of color, but those colors are metallics. And that is where we find ourselves. Now, normally our players would find themselves in the hustle and bustle of the city itself. But tonight they find themselves being dropped off outside of a very large mansion that has seen better days and is the crypt. as each of the players get out of their respective vehicles, all thinking to have arrived very early and before anyone else, respectively, there are 6 taxi cabs, all dropping off lone individuals into the area at different parts. So, if each of you takes a look around and gets your moment of bearings on the estate ahead of you, perhaps take a moment to look around and describe what each would see stepping out of vehicles, or perhaps approaching the estate at roughly the same time as everyone seems to have chosen to be a little bit early to the shindig for this evening. So perhaps we'll start at the top just to make it easier for my clock here. So perhaps Quinn can give a description of themselves.
Quinn is a fairly tall individual. They have on very dirty and kind of weathered and beaten clothing. It's a what was at some point a white button-down shirt. It's now sort of yellowed, not necessarily bright yellow, but it's obviously old and been through several washes. They're wearing a heavy wool coat that frames their shoulders well, and they look broad. They walk with a air of confidence. Their coat seems to have a few bulges here and there, but otherwise they seem very nondescript, but also sort of threatening. Mm-hmm. And as they walk up the street, they kind of seem to be taking everyone in. And 2 of the individuals, Quinn reaches up and tips their hat at, and that would be Reggie and Raven.
And it's the equivalent of yellowed.
Yes. Yes, that's true. It's dingy looking. That's the word I'm looking for. Dingy.
Dingy looking.
Sorry.
No. There'll be something that, again, and for those listening and watching, it's Shadow City is monochromatic. The world lost color years ago for reasons, and only the slightest tints of metallics exist in the world, and it usually is a sign of great wealth or importance, because the materials used to make those materials shine are very expensive and a rare commodity, and the reason why the world itself is at war. But all right, Farank.
Yes, Farank steps out of his cab. He's got a briefcase. He's wearing a fairly nice-looking suit. It's a pinstripe suit, somewhere between smoke and mist and ebony in that color palette. He is a very slight individual, but has a nice, well-coiffed hair, and is shifting between smiling a lot and trying to look very serious at the same time.
Excellent. Reggie.
Reggie steps out of her cart. She's actually stops a couple blocks away. She wants to walk up. Cars are a little bit noticeable. She's 5'7", so average height. She's wiry. She's got medium-ish brown hair and medium-ish eyes. Medium-ish dark hair and eyes. She's wearing a fitted jacket with an unbuttoned blouse underneath and pleated wide leg pants. Kind of looks like maybe she came from work, because she's a little bit trepidatious more than a little bit trepidatious about what all this is. She was going to hang back and watch what everybody else was doing, but seeing Quinn, she'll pop up with everybody else.
Excellent. And Peryn.
So Peryn steps out of the taxi, and anyone who looks at him, he looks as though somebody took a larger ceremonial robe from the church and hung it on a coat rack. He's very thin. He has kind of a thin build, and the kind of wiry. Complexion wise, he's probably like a little darker than the medium tone on the grayscale. So he's, I guess, if there was, I guess you could say he was maybe had a olive or a swarthy complexion. He has neatly combed hair and tight curls. Not a little bit of length, not that much length, but just like a little bit of length in the back. He has almost a very youthful face that is and emotive eyes that are hidden behind small spectacles that he wears. Very prominently, he has a medallion that is a symbol of the Church of Astra. And he is holding what would likely be a book of scripture. He has kind of a he doesn't look necessarily confused, but he does kind of look a little out of place, like, and is trying to take everything in, but also kind of trying to remember that who he's representing here.
Perfect. Raven.
Raven is in nondescript clothing. She's just in dark clothing, trying to fit into the situation, but at the same time be as least noticeable as possible. She will give a nod back to Quinn and also a little wave to Reggie, just because she does recognize those two and is a little surprised that they're here.
All right. And Ignatus.
Ignatus will step out, and the first thing you notice is that he's wearing a very fancy-looking black-on-black suit. However, the other thing that sticks out is that despite the world being just black and white, you can tell his face is a few shades whiter than anybody else's. Very, very pale looking. You see him step out and quickly start glancing at everyone around and trying to size them up. And his eyes linger a little bit long on Peryn.
All right. So, now that you've described, how would you all like to proceed? Or is it going to be just awkward silence amongst you all?
I think Quinn will walk up to, Reggie comes walking up to Quinn, and they sort of look Reggie up and down. What are you doing here?
I'm guessing the same thing as you. Surprises, huh?
Is that everybody here, you think?
I don't know if you talked to the same people I did, but they said every drop of Skye blood. I'm guessing that's you. I know that's me.
Hell if I know. Raven,
Yes?
what are you doing here?
I got an invitation, probably much like you. I want to see what it's all about. I mean, I never really had a family, so...
Yeah, right. And Quinn will look the other three up and down and kind of roll their neck and flex their shoulders. And who are you?
Hi, I'm Farank. Farank Tern Esquire with Rock and Winters. Pleasure to meet you. I'm here to help and represent Rock and Winters with the Skye estate.
You look pretty clean. I guess you're fancy.
Yes.
Right. And you?
This is the Skye household, isn't it?
That's what they say, yeah.
Oh,
Of course it is.
I'm a Peryn, Kestai. I'm an acolyte of the church. I guess you could probably figure that out. But
Yeah, I suppose so.
They need a priest for this?
well, it usually is better for a lot of households to have someone who represents the church on site, kind of like a spiritual assistant or spiritual advisor.
Yeah, no benefit to the church at all, right?
We're servants. I mean, we honestly just want to help anybody who wants to maintain a good relationship with the divines.
Uh-huh.
Raven is like rolling her eyes so hard that everybody notices.
Well, I think it's thrilling. Thank you for being here, Your Grace.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm not sure.
I'm an acolyte. You can just call me Peryn. It's fine.
Oh, okay, Peryn.
Oh, I don't know. I think we ought to call you Father Peryn.
I maybe not. I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm just a servant. I'm only here in regards to assisting the Marquis. Nothing else. Or if anybody else needs any type of moral guidance, I'll be more than happy to assist them as well.
Oh, we're gonna have fun. And what about you? Who are you?
I'm Ignatus. I'm one of the cousins of the family. Of course, I'd be invited here.
Oh, la-di-da. We got a fancy one over here too.
You spend time at the Pendulum Club, don't you?
I spend many nights there. Yes,
I've seen you occasionally. Small world.
very small. And speaking of small world, hello, Peryn. I don't know if you remember, we went to school together. And Ignatus kind of lowers his eyes and looks right at him.
At the academy. Wait, Iggy?
You can see Ignatus kind of like ruffles his feathers.
Oh
Ignatus. My name is
By the
Ignatus.
gods. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's been so long. How are you? Oh, you look good.
I've been doing well.
Good.
So are you a holy roller too, Iggy?
No, not necessarily. Just went to school there. I'm glad I never had to go back.
Peryn, you can actually see Peryn kind of like step back a bit after he says that. Just kind of like recedes it himself. Just
don't worry, Father. It's okay. We're all family, right?
I don't think I'm related. I'm only here in the capacity as a advisor and representative, a church liaison. That's all I know.
Right. Well, maybe it's a matter of divine intervention that you're here then. Let's not keep the old man waiting.
Yeah, after a little bit of your chatter, you see a torchlight coming towards you from the house. And as the person approaches, you don't actually recognize them, but they have a compact frame and a very cut close haircut. And their dress is in basically servant clothing for the staff clothing for the household. But it looks fairly new and not particularly like well fitted, like as if it's just taken off the rack kind of thing. Okay. Excuse me, Master Skye said that there were guests out here meandering, and he sent me out here to bring you all in. I assume you are the guests for this evening's gathering.
We are. Lead the way.
Oh yes. She looks a little offset looking at who all's here, but when she spots Peryn, she kind of warms a little bit and smiles, and then goes, yes, please, this way.
Please lead the way.
And she leads ahead with the torchlight to basically the front of the house. Now, looking around the very, very large estate, again, as you entered into Silver Hills, which is about 30 minutes outside of the city proper, you were able to what's going on with my thing here? You were able to see other very Silverwood, not Hills, Silverwood. You were able to see other nice houses as you entered in, but they tended to get a little bit larger as you got further into the Silverwoods, only to find this very large estate that you were in front of. However, the house itself looks like it has been in quite disrepair over the years. It is only the front walls that have been rebuilt recently, you can tell. The gate is very standout, polished and very nice. Also looks like it's been upkept quite well recently. But you see an old carriage house, which looks to be in disuse. There are lots of boxes and scaffolding, but not full scaffolding, just only like enough to kind of work on the immediate areas. And anybody who has any other languages outside of Vesiponian can read some of the labels being from other countries. And then you guess the ones you can't read are probably also from other countries. In general, they just say things as to deliver to the Skye estate and Sarada. Or maybe it's something that says fragile or decide up. And you see like some have been kind of opened to, I guess, just be checked, but a lot of them are sealed and scattered about, leading up to the front entranceway. The weather this evening, one thing to point out, is extremely beautiful. It's probably a perfect night, and it's nice crisp air. It's perfect for this time of year. Don't ask me what time of year it is. It is otherwise immaculate, and you're like, for an evening, this is quite nice. So give me 1 second to pull up. And she leads you to the front. How do I? Oh, that's going to be a challenge for me, isn't it? Oh no! Don't do that. Talk amongst yourselves for a second, and
So Raven, how you doing?
Another day, another dollar. Looking for secrets.
It's been a minute.
Many? Yeah, it has.
Still getting picked on?
I try to stay hidden more now, but,
So I don't have to go rough anyone up for you?
Not today.
All right.
Good
to
I'm
hear.
always thankful that you look out for me.
What can I say? I got a soft spot for you. Break any noses lately, Reggie?
Not as many as I'd like.
Yeah. And Quinn kind of reaches up, and you can see there's a faint bend in their nose. Yeah, I bet.
That was
Still
just a
got
lucky
that-
shot.
You're right, it was. Oh, and when they brought their hand up, you read across their knuckles the phrase "word." So, Esquire. What's that mean?
Lawyer? Have you never heard the term Esquire before?
It's real fancy. I've heard of lawyers. I've had a couple represent me.
Well, there you are. If you've gone to school and you've passed the bar, then you are officially allowed to call yourself Esquire. I think it's an old Ceredan term. Actually, I don't even know the origin of it. But it sounds nice, so I thought maybe I would use it.
Sure.
It does sound nice. You
Okay.
keep it. Don't let Quinn bully it out of you.
Maybe I'll start calling myself Esquire. It could be fancy.
You know what? I'm sure that you are more than capable of calling yourself anything you would like to, ma'am.
Yeah.
In the few moments of awkward silence in between, you can kind of hear Peryn muttering something to himself. Once you pay any attention, you kind of assume that it's some type of prayer. But then you hear the word, "You can do this. You can do this."
It's all right, Father. I'm not.
Oh,
Did we lose some people?
We're getting them
Well,
back.
here.
They're all back.
Okay.
They're all back.
he's
And,
startled by your response. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
was
fine.
going over scripture. Sorry.
Sure you were.
What's the scripture that says you can do this?
There are a couple of different scriptures that where people are pushed forward to act and to in stages that are way bigger than them. And not that this is a bigger stage, but just there's a lot of encouraging scriptures that would help people find their way. I'd love to read some to you if you'd like.
Maybe not at this time.
Oh,
At about this awkward moment, and you get closer to the front doors. The doors are opened by a very large man that all of you should recognize, and a more petite individual with a very small, tiny hat on their head and a parasol in their hands, greeting you. And they go, "Ah, I see you have accepted the invitation of Esten Skye. Excellent. We're very happy to have you here. Please walk this way." And they lead you through a vestibule, through what would normally be a ballroom, but is very full of more boxes and everything else. I think I might have to move you all because of some blocking that's going on. So I'm gonna.
Ignatus follows very quickly, trying to pretend like he's been here before.
Of course. Though you have been at least in the vestibule.
Quinn's gonna enter last.
Quinn's last.
She
Okay,
wants
no
to
problem.
watch everybody
Yeah.
kind of move
No
ahead and scope out the layout of this entryway.
No problem. So yeah, the vestibule itself leads. There's another rooms off to the right and to the left. Again, everything is in this front area opened up a little bit, but still in disrepair. You still have a lot of things that need to be fixed. And let me go to here. All right. So they lead in, kind of stand on the other side of inside the courtyard. Though they don't have cute little markers, there are about 5 other staff members. I'm just kind of putting you all in here, so apologies here. If you want to be in any particular spot, just let me know. I will have this much more open for you all to move yourself around next time.
I could be up like closer to the next to, yeah, right there.
Where?
Right next to, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you put me kind of next to Hans, because I would like to apologize for being so rude to him the other day.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Hans has not said anything at this point.
No, I'm just gonna walk up and be like, "Hey, friend, sorry for telling you to hit the bricks the other day. It was a real bad day. It wasn't you."
Understood. Thank you. And at this point, the up on the basically, it's going to be. This is where it's going to be. This is a upper area where the stairs lead up to, kind of an overhang, and this is a open courtyard. So the sky and everything itself is open and out. The weather, again, you feel so. Basically, you did a quick move through the front vestibule, through the ballroom that's in disuse and filled with boxes, and you stand in an open courtyard with a elder gentleman with a aging large raven on his shoulder, holding a very beautiful wooden cane, and he's dressed to the nines. Basically, one of the fanciest people you've ever seen in the city. Lots of very nice jewelry, but not tacky in any way. Like everything is very precise, very clean, and very beautiful. The idea is simply that he is here. He reminds you if there was the world's most interesting man in this world, that this would be his appearance. And so he's like, I see you all made it. Well, wait, you didn't all make it. Well, I see most of you have made it this evening. welcome to, well, I won't say my house. Welcome to your house. That is what we are here to discuss. I am Esten Skye. I am the elder patron of the Skye family. Only because my dear, sweet sister passed away recently. And so it has fallen upon me to reestablish the name within the city. But I cannot do this alone, nor would I want to. And actually, my whole reason for doing this is actually not for me. It's for you. I've realized in my years that I have not left much for others. And so I asked my associates here to track down those who would carry my blood and hopefully leave you something of a legacy here within the city. But if we simply take what is here now, then, well, that is not much of anything. I will be leaving you a very large estate, and yes, a very, very large amount of money. But what can you really do with that other than spend it and live in it? I want you to be able to use the name as it once was in the city. I want you to be able to wield it with power. But you cannot do that alone. We will need help. And so that is why I've gathered you here, to see if you wish to take your place within our family and its services and work towards something greater. He looks over at Farank. He's like, "I know you're not one of mine." Looks over at Peryn. He's like, Confessor has made it. Good. I'm glad. But no, you're not one of mine either.
No, I wouldn't be.
Well, yeah, you never know. I've made my way around the world quite a few times and have left my mark, if you will. Ignatus, good to see you. Good to see you. Always. How are your parents?
They're fine.
That's convincing. and it's you go by Reggie, correct?
I do.
Good to see you.
I wish I could say the same.
Understood. And Raven, that's what you call yourself, yes?
It is.
Excellent. Glad you could make it. And Quinn, the feisty one.
Something like that.
Something like that.
How you doing?
Well, busy, and I like to be enjoying myself more, but the city is the city, and things need to be done.
Yeah, I suppose so. So, what, do we just get to move in here?
Actually, yes.
All right.
And how do we know you aren't going to take it away as soon as we do?
That is an excellent question. Obviously, anything can be taken away, but there are legal bindings that can ensure that certain things are kept on the level. Each and every one of you will be legally put into the Skye will, and will have the rights to the to any of the things that are offered here.
That explains the lawyer.
Well, explains part of the lawyer. There's a lot more that the lawyer will need to be doing with our matters. Yes, Raven.
This all sounds nice, but what do you want from us?
Well, there's things that need to be done within the city, and there are things that can only be done with those who carry the Skye's name behind it.
So we got to go by Skye.
No, if you choose not to, that is fine. That is your choice.
All right.
Definitely will make things easier for you if you do. But
Might open
Again.
some doors.
oh, doors will open. That is for sure.
Right.
Some doors will close as well. My name
Which
is
ones?
huh?
Which
Which ones will
Just-
close?
Yeah.
That is hard to say. I do not remember everyone that holds a grudge. And though I will be hopefully sending you out to improve some of those relationships, we will see how they go. It's been a long time since I've made my presence within the city well known. I've visited from time to time, but I've not called it my home for quite some time.
Anybody you specifically remember being a problem earlier?
Problems? No. Everyone liked me. I
You're
was
lovable, huh?
I'm amicable.
All right. And I'm gonna cast a glance at Hans and just look him up and down.
Mhm.
And then I look back at Esten. So what's he doing here?
Him, Hans. But
Yeah.
he's been my comrade in travels for quite some time. He was my bodyguard of sorts. He's my head of security. My travels have taken me to not just the most beautiful and wonderful places within the world, but some of the most dangerous. And so I always have to have protection.
All right.
Esten looks about in his mid-70s. Hans does not look to be that old. So it's possibly something only within the last few years or so.
Okay.
But
so what now?
Well, now I would suggest we get to know each other a little bit more. And he looks over to Miss Dreadmire and nods, and she looks over to the staff and they go and quickly scamper off to what you would assume would be the kitchen area, and they come out with trays of nicer food than probably some of you have had, but at the same time looks like somebody trying really hard to kind of put together what should be like fancy food for an event right now. So like, I mean, it's not bad food, and it's, you're not eating canned food or anything like that, but it's definitely like questionable. And again, if you look over at the staff members, they're all dressed in staff clothing, but it looks like they all came from the same store, but maybe not the same time. And again, all kind of just very new, maybe not as ironed or freshly like, again, Hans is immaculately dressed. He's a large man, full prosthetics, like very bespoke, toned down, like the cut vest, shine shoes, very like heavy presence to him. Miss Dreadmire, again, fancy like kimono style suit, the little hat, everything again with the Skye crest, looks immaculate. The staff very fresh, and so as they go and they gather food for you all, you then also see the mousy staff member who came and got you has a tray of drinks and comes around and hands each of you a drink. So Ignatus, she hands you a vodka martini with a twist. Quinn, she brings you over a old fashioned. Farank, she brings you over a gin and tonic. Raven gets a Belvedere. And Reggie gets a gin Ricky, and Peryn gets a Temple Fizz.
As Reggie reaches for the glass with her left hand, her brass consortium prosthetic hand tinkles on the glass. And it clinks.
Nice. Yeah. And then she goes, I hope that was okay. And then
I nod acknowledgement, so thank you, sister, and take the drink.
Oh, thanks. I'm actually on the clock right now, so maybe in a little bit.
It Esten goes, no need for formalities. You're welcome here. So one thing I would like to point out to you all is that you answered, would we would live here? Yes, you all have rooms here if you wish, and a place to stay. This includes you, Farank, and you, Peryn. We have a confessor's room for you. So may make your duties easier if you wish to stay here.
I was told that there was a temple here, or an altar. Sorry, there was an altar here in the household. I would very much like to see that, if I may.
There was a chapel. I mean, there is a chapel. It's currently a storage room. I'm sure in time.
Wrinkles at that, like.
Well, everything's kind of a storage room right now. So, yeah.
Ignatus says under his breath, "As it should be."
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting things settled. I'm sure in time. I mean, I have a lot of things from around the world that I need to store and move about, and so that was one of the more readily available rooms and it's on this floor. But in time, once we get our station and our liquidity going a little bit better and so forth, we'll have time for more modifications and improvements to the space as you all see fit.
As a representative of the church, I would make it part of my responsibility to return that to its former glory.
Yes, of course, in time. And if you look around the even outside in the courtyard, it is very well decorated. And then when you pass through the ballroom and the vestibule, there were a number of things covered in sheets and so forth. So there's a lot of wealth around the estate. It's just right now it's not being shown or whatever. The house itself, though, for the family was kind of well known as being a proper family devoted to the church. So glancing around, you probably see where there are symbols of the church in the household, but they are covered at the moment and not on full display. But that is not like the only things. That's also like vases and other pieces of decoration that would kind of show up.
So it doesn't look like it was purposely like covered or anything like that. Just as part of the thing.
Not the only thing purposely covered. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah. It's not it's as if many things were covered, but also there's a lot of work going on. So it may have been covered on purpose to protect it from the renovations. But the one thing again to note for some folks like who had kind of snooped around early on or whatever and did some quick glances, the house itself seems to be at this point kind of at a stage of like it's on the work is on hold. It doesn't look like there's enough scaffolding and paint and boards and other things that would need to be to do a full renovation of the house. So it looks like they've renovated about as much as they're going to at this point. And other things may need to be done. So
Chris, question for you. Do any of the household servants look familiar from the court?
No, actually, none of them look familiar. What what you do notice, each of them seems to have the court. The court is a mix of people who come into the city or whatever. So what you do notice is though they aren't members of the court, you do see each of them have very different jewelry or accent mark pieces to their clothing, which is again kind of weird for staff members. You would think they'd be more uniformed, like uniformed. That they have lots of different elements from different nations outside of Vesipon.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, that's fine. Any other question? Any or roles or insights or anything y'all want to before I continue with it?
Does can I roll insight? I want to see if Esten seems sincere.
Yeah, 100%. That's a 7 for people playing on the on the outside there. But yes, I mean, you don't hear anything in his tone or anything like that would say otherwise. He seems truthful in everything he's saying so far. There's no quiver or anything like that. Nothing that even makes you go, maybe. It seems pretty genuine. However, again, his tone is not the most loving or anything else. It's very matter of factly. So
I slam a Jinriki and ask for another.
the mousy comes over with gets it and goes, you sure another Jinriki or anything else?
No, just keep them coming.
All right. Yes. And scampers back to the kitchen area. The Esten at this point is I would ask one thing. I mean, if you do have an opinion of me and it comes from genuine interaction with me, please keep it. But I would ask, now that I've returned to the city, many people may assume or say things about me. And I would ask that you come to your opinions of me on your own. That's all I ask. Give me the opportunity to prove myself to you all. I'm not asking you to trust me now. I'm not asking you to do anything that would go against your better natures. I know better than this. I know people. But I would ask that, again, you let me do things truly for you. And
what do you think they're going to say that would throw us off?
Oh, there are a number of rumors and things about me in my past that people have generated on their own for lack of knowledge.
All right. Any specific examples?
Oh, that I left in scandal, that I...
What was the scandal?
Well, that depends on who you speak to. There are many. Everyone has their own opinion on what that scandal may be. The reasons for me not being in the city are numerous. That I spent too much time in some of the other countries and became too influenced by their beliefs or their teachings or the way they lived their lives. I can say that I have learned a lot from seeing the world and seeing things outside of our country and the city itself. But I would not say I've ever strayed from who I am.
Right. All right. So what did the rest of you think? You're going to stick around or are you going back to town?
I was chosen as his spiritual advisor. I will be staying.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere, Father. We need you to save our souls.
I'll only do what I can.
That may very well be true.
Esquire, what are you thinking?
Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I think there's a lot of ramifications around the nature of this relationship, and we probably should come up with some rules and structures and organizations around. I'm just really worried. Like, if you beat somebody up, they could sue the house now, and so we.
Not if you don't get caught.
Okay, so.
Or they don't survive.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Or you make better moral choices.
I like you, Father.
I mean, this is actually why most houses have a confessor within them.
Yeah, okay.
What makes you assume we're going to beat people up?
I mean, I've literally only known y'all for about maybe 20, 30 minutes, and the conversation has come up 3 times. So maybe that
about beating people up.
No. Yes.
You nervous?
I think what he means to say is maybe just everybody comes from different places, and the rules work differently in where they come from. So maybe you're just concerned that now whatever you do, it reflects on the household of Skye. I think that's all he means.
Well said, Peryn. I appreciate you and your wisdom.
Iggy, what are you thinking?
I think I'm going to stay. I think that we can restore this house to the great house it once was.
I've always liked you, Iggy. I mean, Ignatus, sorry.
Yeah, only his close friends get to call him Iggy.
It's true.
You got to earn that.
Well, I hope to.
Raven, you staying?
No. I mean, is there a room that doesn't leak?
Yes. All of your rooms have been well, not everything from the former tenants have been removed from them, but all of your rooms are ready for you to stay.
And I'm willing to see what it's like, at least. Better than the crap hole I live in now.
I mean, you're allowed to keep your crap hole if you wish. I'm not saying that anybody needs to, fully move in, but you are, again, fully welcome to. I understand, again, it may take time for you all to feel fully trusting and so forth. Stranger for most of you. I've come from out of nowhere, and I'm putting an offer on the table that is slightly grandiose.
So how are we going to get back and forth?
Yes.
I got things I have to do on the daily.
When at some point in time, you'll need to get your own form of transportation, which we'll work on towards. But for now, when Hans is available, he can take you into the city and drop you off. There's you notice outside there was a large military kind of style truck with a back for transporting materials back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah. Hans should be readily available for the time being, but occasionally when you're in the city, you may need to take other forms of transportation back in. But in time, it'll be a novel cost. It won't even matter to you all. In fact, Farank could probably just write it off to the company.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think there's an expense account.
There is an expense account. We will be calling on some older debts as well to be repaid to the family.
Right. Well, I'm going to go take a look around.
Sure. Let me pull that back up. Give you an idea of what you be trouncing around on.
Just so you're aware, the dynamic lighting is not working for me.
I know. That's why I'm showing it on the screen here.
Okay. Got it.
I am fully aware.
Okay.
There's also a reason why I stopped y'all from moving yourselves because.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just have to use this for now until I become more of a ninja. And
it's Trixie.
It is Trixie.
Reggie will ask Esten, do you have any regrets for the family that you chose to leave behind?
That is an interesting question, and I do. We could discuss this in more detail at another time, but okay. I did quite admire your father and his work, and I think I know you think what do you think, and that is your right. But in time, I think we can discuss this more.
Okay.
So, can I show anything? Ooh, this is going to be a problem. Hold on a moment. I take back everything I just said. Talk about amongst yourselves some more real fast.
By the way, Farank, I beat people up where it's okay to do it. I'm not just roughing folk up in the street.
What does that even mean?
I kind of give you a look like odd, but okay.
She's a
honestly, I've
professional.
heard your name before. I don't make it out to the I don't know the is it a ring an arena
Pit.
Pit.
a pit. I don't make it
Oh.
to the pit very often, but I have
Okay.
heard. I've seen posters around. I think I saw your picture on one time.
Oh God, I didn't know it was on a poster.
Maybe it was like an undercard match.
Mm.
All right, that was my bad. I went in the wrong direction. So as you if you run around you have time to run around and kind of look. Most every single room that's not an actual like bedroom at this point, or servants' quarters or whatever, is pretty much full of just junk, boxes, or a disuse, right? So sunroom, breakfast room, okay, those are like this first area is kind of of use, but could be cleaned up and better. Chapel is full of junk, not even storage, just junk. Like when you actually peek into it, it's just full of like where they put like the trash and everything, while they were doing the and storage for the for any of the materials for the refurbishments and so forth. The library has books, but they're mostly boxed up and everything like that. It's not of use yet. The study, again, not in use. The reception room is your parlor, which you do have as a special feature to your estate. And let's put this up here. So, Skye. The Skye estate, and is that should everyone has a parlor which it allows you to do better influence actions and so forth later on. There's other really neat pieces to this that plays more mechanically as you go. It's a very large space. It's exclusive, so all of you will get bonuses to your social rankings and so forth in progress for your influence projects when they're done within this area. And then I'll come up a little bit more later on. How do I stop sharing that? There we go. All right. There's a bunch of giant washrooms. Some of them are used, some of them aren't in use currently. The ballroom is full. Now, your bedrooms are on the second floor. You have assigned bedrooms. I'm not going to tell you which ones are which right this second. But they each of you have a room, and it looks like it was lived in by probably the children, your cousins, basically from Esten's sister's side, or actually grand cousins. So, right, yeah, that would be right. Yeah, grand cousins. And the gallery is full right now. So the front half of this part is all full of stuff. Beds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then is for everyone except for Peryn. Peryn is stuck over here in the guest area, but still also probably the farthest from where the old chapel was also before. So very convenient. But it actually looks to have been the old confessor's room, so that doesn't look like it was done maliciously. It was done as just reusing spaces that were used by other people before. It's a pretty big house.
I'm going to head to bed 5.
Bed 5. All right. In bed 5, which is now going to be your room. Give me 1 second. Where is my list? Is Okay. So bedroom 5 is it definitely is not oh, give me 1 second. I gotta look up this person. Talk about yourself some more. Apologies.
Once Quinn heads to the bed 5, they kind of pull at their collar, and you can see the viewer can see hints of tattoos lining under their shirt. They sort of scope out each room, and as they move toward bed 5, they seem to relax more and more, getting away from the more congested section of the house.
Yeah, that room has a lot of looks like former dock clothing, so like boots.
Mhm.
The you see a Iron Union symbol, and other remnants of someone who probably spent a lot of time, maybe even at the docks. So
Okay. I begin going through their stuff.
all right, well, yeah. So again, you find
Yeah.
just more of the same of that kind of thing. Light things of value, pocket change, things like that.
Mhm.
But nothing extensive of wealth. It looks like what notes you do find was they were probably a former foreman, or maybe in charge of a warehouse. You see some old manifests and things like that, but very, very outdated.
Do the clothes look like they would fit me?
Yeah, actually.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah. You get yourself another set of blue collar clothing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But it's nice. It's nicer than, so there's a quality thing. So I'll let you know what the quality boost would be
Okay.
to that. 100%.
Got fancy clothes. Yay.
I know you said some of the common rooms were filled with stuff. Is it just like furniture and drop cloths, or is it like
furniture, drop cloths, and like I said, crates full of things that just haven't been opened yet?
Okay.
And again, the markings are all from the various different countries around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, anything that's open, you can take a look at, and then it's just straw and other packing materials, and then you look inside. There's maybe an exotic vase or other item, could, again, of value. There's lots of things of value. Literally, if you just started to pack your bags and fill sacks, you could do do pretty well. But again, liquidating some of the stuff might be harder to do, without the right contacts. But you have some of the contacts. But again, so depending on, it's not like anything's under lock and key. Nothing's super secured. If it's secured, it's with a nail, and there's probably a hammer nearby that with a claw that you could undo the or a pry bar, or you probably have your own pry bar. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, which a lot of you do.
I want to make my way to the chapel just to see what I've got to work with, how much damage is done there. So I know you said it was full of things, but I just
it's just full of things. It's not damaged, right?
Okay.
It would take time and effort, and you'd probably have to go and get more items from the church supply place to make it a fully functioning chapel. It would take work, and it would take time, and it would take more improvements to the estate itself in order to make that functional. But it would be you could get it to the point where it was functional in a non-beneficial, beneficial sense. of like you wouldn't get any bonuses for it or anything that comes with actually having a real chapel in an estate, but you could do your functionary stuff there eventually, just regularly,
Can I do like either like a perception or maybe a religion check to see if there's like any signs of, for lack of a better term, like corruption or like defacing of
you have magic sense. You actually would make a wisdom roll, right? I believe your ability. Let me take a look at that real fast. So your ability is Mystic Sense, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's
the magic sense. I was just gonna look to see if I saw any like thing that was scratched out, but yeah, I can use that. We'll do that.
Oh, you were just I mean,
yeah,
we'll go
with that. We'll go.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you could do both, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, you probably will need to because but
and it would be perception or if I'm looking for I'll roll the religion. It's 24.
Okay. Actually, don't see any defacing whatsoever.
Okay.
So it just looks like, again, that they just used it for storage or whatever, and it hasn't been kept up or anything like that. No broken altars, no broken symbols, no anything like that. Nothing has been overtly done to deface or harm the place, other than making it full of junk and not an accessible place for regular use. So you get the idea that somebody who would be very religious would probably not have done such a thing because they would be using the room at all times for prayer, which is probably from your stories of his sister and their family. They were constantly doing that and using this regularly. This is not a high priority, obviously, on Esten's a list of daily duties. So
I got my hands full. What about the Mystic Sense as well? Is that
there are no active and no residual magic?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just have to roll up my sleeves and start in this as soon as possible.
Yeah. Would not suggest it, right? Not after your temple fizz.
Yeah.
Those cherries will hit you. Does anybody else want to do? Otherwise, like at some point in time, Esten's like, if anybody would be curious of the things that are you all settling in? I happy to discuss some matters that could be getting done if you all are feeling comfortable now.
I would love to know the nature of what you're needing out of my services.
So I would need you to make sure that as they go out into the world and use the name and so forth, that they are covered from a legal standpoint, but also that you're able to take note and also when negotiating with certain individuals, be able to bring up the fact that we have legal representation. And that we would expect old debts and legal binding things to be upheld. Mostly, while the individuals within the city are one thing to deal with, the police within the city can sometimes be a little heavy-handed, and I would want to make sure that we're able to get all of my family members kept out of jail as much as possible. And not under the scrutiny of the city, state, and government.
Understood, sir. Understood.
You said earlier that not everybody made it. How many others are there?
Well, there's a lot more, but there were 2 more that were invited that haven't shown up this evening.
Should we be keeping an eye out for them?
That would be something to look into, I suppose. Yes. I mean,
Or
we
is
could
it?
have just chosen not to come. I assumed actually not all of you that are here would have come, but you did, and I'm happy to see that.
Who didn't come?
Yes. So there was a wily, who was he? Turns to Miss Dreadmire. And he comments, he's like, I believe it was a crafter. Had a crazy look in his eye. Usually down in the markets. His name Aldehyde something or other. And then there was Nika, who was with the Iron Union, kind of like a organizer of sorts. But
You want us to go look for him?
I mean, I suppose that would probably be on. Again, they could have just decided not to come about. There are other matters that do need tending. I mean, perhaps as you're doing the other things, you could check in on them as well. I mean, my hope is that we can get this place looking immaculate, so that we can have a very large soiree and invite all the most important people within the city to, recognize us again as an important house.
I don't know your fancy parts. What's a soiree?
Soiree. It's a fancy party. Actually, that's exactly the exact definition of it. Were the library working, I'd be able to pull up the dictionary and show you, but that also in time needs to be cleaned up and fixed. But yes, we need to repair the house. The house is in disarray. We need to. Now the problem with that is the Iron Union boss isn't exactly my best friend. I may not have slept with one of his ex-wives in the past, and I believe he still holds a grudge against me for that. So we would need to smooth things out with him. Perhaps he's forgotten. I have a gift. I wish you all to bring him. We need to actually, Quinn, it's very good that you're here. We need to make sure that the Rat King is aware of my presence and that he accepts me being within the city. And so I have a gift that needs to be delivered to him. We need to open up trade again. There's a curiosity shop that I would like you to speak to the owner of, and make sure that she approves of doing trade within the city. We also need to get the finest of the. We have Reggie, of course, but I don't want Reggie to have do a one-person show of the, one-woman show of her performance of the cello. Though I know it would be beautiful. We could make her a accent mark of the soiree, but I would like to bring in other entertainment from the Brass Consortium, if possible. So we need to speak to Madame Rose of the Brass Rose Cabaret. So just a few folks, a few gifts, a few presents, if you will, to hopefully smooth things out with all parties.
Sure.
Do you have bad blood with Madame Rose?
No. It's more of a formality. It's been some time since I've seen her. We used to be old compatriots in our travels.
And what about your relationship with the Rat King?
I did not know the Rat King. He's after my time. I knew his associate before him.
All right. Well, can take the gift. Tell him what I know, but you haven't given us a lot to go on, so I can't guarantee his response.
I'm pretty sure the gifts will say everything that needs to be said.
Not going to get me in trouble, are you?
No, actually, I hopefully it'll get you promotion.
Huh. All right then.
Oh, and I also need to make an announcement to the Society of Ravens. You'll need to speak to Winters, not the Winters that you know, her partner.
Right. Any
But
preference where we
even-
go first?
Well, first, I think you should get some rest this evening, and then tomorrow start on the day of going out and speaking to whomever you wish, perhaps even checking in on your cousins, as you will. So I would say rest up, chat more amongst yourselves if you wish, and then tomorrow get a start on your day. Tomorrow would be Saturday. Today's a Friday evening, so and go about your business.
You're gonna have some fun, Esquire.
Before you adjourn, Lord Skye, I'd just like to say
Oh,
that,
not Lord.
you're Marquis.
There are no titles in Vespon.
Well, pardon me, but
You don't actually know the title Marquis yet. That's also sorry.
Well, before you adjourn yourself, chapel notwithstanding, if you do feel the need to make any type of confessions, and I will be more than willing to hear it wherever is appropriate for you.
Yes, of course. Perhaps in the kitchen or something while I'm having a snack at some point. I'll,
At your convenience, when you wish it.
Of course. That's why you're here. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Keep the family in line, of course, right?
As much as I can.
Yes,
I have a question. How'd you find out about us?
There are ways of finding people. I have those ways.
Right, but see, you knew more about me than I did. I don't like that.
Well, in time, perhaps I will show you more of my techniques. I'm a man of many skills.
Right. I look forward to it.
As do I.
I have one question.
Of course, Ignatus.
The last family that lived here disappeared. Should we be worried?
Yes.
What do you mean disappeared?
Well, they didn't disappear. They died.
Right. So is someone going to kill us? Or try to kill us?
That's one of my theories.
You know
So
who
are
it
we-
was?
Sorry, what was your question, Reggie?
I think Quinn was asking, do you know who they were?
Who the people that died? Yes, they were my family.
No. Who killed them?
Oh, I have no idea at the moment, but I'm putting together things. That'll be something that we'll be looking into.
How'd
So-
they die? Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Multiple different ways. All usually seems to be natural causes or accidents or strange things, but bad things tend to happen to this family.
Like accident bad thing or like poison bad thing?
Usually appears to be accidents, but again, there are many ways to make accidents look like accidents.
Yeah.
So are you just pulling us together so that we can be fodder to keep you safe?
Oh no, I don't think actually I'm at risk of anything, not at this age. Nor was my sister. She died of old age. But
And how do we know you are who you say you are?
what? Just look around at all the pictures.
Yeah, I
you
could have
look around
come
all the
in
pic-
here and set stuff up. I mean, you obviously have money, so
Well, there's really not much to prove that other than the few people who do know me within the city can identify me for who I am.
all right.
But that is an
Fair
excellent question.
Well, Ignatus had met him when he was younger, right? So
True,
he
Ignatus can vouch for me, but I mean that's the. Do you trust this? Who knows? I could have paid you off and just met you just earlier. So, I mean, Quinn's suspicions are valid, and within the city, stranger things have happened. I'm sure. You know, I spend a lot of time traveling all over the world, meeting different people. At one point in time, we had to make Torvin here look like a parrot because we had to blend in with the locals. So
That's the bird.
the
Raven?
raven on his shoulder. Yeah. Who looks, again, one cataract eye.
Yeah.
All disheveled feathers. Looks very, very old.
Is that the one I saw at the bar?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, that's yours.
Yes, he's been mine for. I hatched. Well, I didn't hatch him. He hatched himself, but I've had him since he was a hatchling. Yes.
Right. Well,
He's seen more than Hans and Miss Dreadmire. For better or for worse.
Oh.
Right.
Farank walks over to Miss Dreadmire. Miss Dreadmire, I apologize so much. The other day when we met, it totally escaped my mind. I remember you from my father's 40th birthday. What was 6-7 years ago. So I thank you for this opportunity. I don't know if you were directly related to it, but
I was.
Thank you so much.
Well, I expect good things from you. Your family is a good name.
Looking forward to it. This is a lot to take in. I'm not sure that I brought an overnight bag. I'll have to figure this all out.
Oh, there's pajamas for all of you in your respective rooms.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
This whole time, Raven has been watching the staff, trying to see how they interact with each other, if they seem scared, if they seem,
Sure. Roll insight. That was a. The thing that gives away the most for them is not so much that they don't seem to interact with each other than what they have to do for work. It seems more like they don't even really know each other. It definitely seems like there's a little bit of bumping into each other as if they're not used to working with each other. And you could tell that there's some bowing or head nods or whatever from different people, but it's more of regional cultural movements, but they're not quite yet matching up with each other. Nobody's figured out what this head shake or what this nod or what this does yet. So when one person indicates something, the other one misinterprets it and goes the wrong way. So you see a lot of bumbling. Again, it seems like a very, very fresh, not disciplined, not organized, not probably this is maybe their first day even on the job.
Understood.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to give the workers a 1/8, it'd be more like a 1/28 of a usefulness kind of thing. Any other questions? Things? Pajama time.
I'm good. I'm gonna head up and is the scaffolding near my room?
It can be.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's scaffolding about. It's just not to it's only and it would there's scaffolding near the room because it had been just recently done, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you don't mind, then I would like there to be scaffolding
not
outside. Cool. Thank you.
Quick escape.
Anybody else?
I'll retire to my room. Before I do, I'll go over to Ignatius. Ignatius. I'm sorry. You probably know this house better than most. Definitely me. Is there any place? Do you know if there's any place that maybe some? How are the rooms here? Could you direct me to a place I should be, or?
I've been here plenty of times, but I don't know exactly what you're looking for.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure you all have your rooms. Could you at least show me where the guest room is, or do you have that idea, or should I just grab one of the.
That's what
staff.
the help user's for.
Yeah,
Ask one of them.
the mousy help comes up very quickly
Okay.
and goes, "Oh, I could
Oh.
take it this way."
Thank you.
And she leads Peryn over to the guest room. Everyone settles in for the evening. We're going to take a short break so that everyone can do the things they need to do, and we'll be back in about, we'll say, 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, all right, thanks everybody. All right, there we go. And we're back. All right. Thank you, everybody, for letting us have a quick moment. And now it's time. So it's now Saturday morning. You all wake up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, hopefully, in your pajamas, and you're ready for your day to begin. You do. I don't know what people's waking schedules are, so but whenever you do wake up, I know some people have said that they woke up kind of late or whatever. So, but as you wake up, you do smell what does smell like fresh coffee and delicious foods being made down in the kitchen area. It's a little bit more prevalent for you, Peryn, because you're on the side where the kitchen actually is. But
I can smell it while I'm doing my daily prayers.
100%. But it smells good. It seems like that may be a better a meal than what was offered the night before. Not before was good, but this is probably just straight up just regular breakfast for y'all. So how I don't know, Quinn, how do you rise and shine on your Saturday morning?
Quinn wakes up very early, and they kind of lay in bed for a few minutes and then sort of give a big stretch and climb out of bed. They do a few exercises, push-ups, things of that nature, to kind of wake themselves up a little more. And then they will just kind of set about exploring before too many people are awake, just checking out what's there and what's around.
Yeah, most of the help is out and about doing things, but they're not all clumped, and you have plenty of room to roam around without much. At some point, you do see like you pass through the courtyard, you see Hans kind of doing his morning work. One thing you do notice is he moves pretty fast for a giant lumbering hulking prosthetic machine. So for those who've not caught the encounters and descriptions of Hans is basically head to toe prosthetics. Almost could be mistaken for an automaton. The only things that really give away that he's actually human and with prosthetics is the upper part of his head, and his eyes are very, very human. Everything else is jaw, mechanical, and prosthetic. He's not wearing his formal suit while he's doing his workout, so he doesn't have his bowler cap on. He's just kind of doing his movements and everything like that. Looks like he's just kind of shaking out the morning kinks, if anything else, within the prosthetics. But again, they don't have the coloring of iron or bronze. They're very dulled out, but it's even more prevalent. And because he's not wearing the vest or even the arm cut off jacket, you see these just a bulking machine for the most part.
Okay. I'm just going to spend a little time watching and studying how he moves and just sort of getting an idea in case there's a problem at some point.
So you could tell that he's a brawler, and that he probably gets in fast, and he does probably a lot of grappling.
Okay.
A lot of his movements are probably from studying different martial arts around the world. But he's definitely a grappler and probably very good at it. And the most remarkable thing is the speed at which he moves is not quite twice as fast as you, but pretty close. So he can cover a lot of ground really quickly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. If you sneezed, he might be right on you with a tissue.
Yeah, with a tissue.
Yeah, with a tissue. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So. But otherwise, I mean, and then as you're passing through the house itself, around Miss Dreadmire is basically taking notes on things about the house. probably need to be doing. And with a very like critical kind of not happy with the current state of the house things. So
how do the servants interact with the folks who seem to be in charge? Is it deferential or is it fearful?
Not fearful. Not
Okay.
fearful, actually. Deferential. It depends. Like some of the folks that seem to be there to be staff to be security respect Hans, and the folks that are just doing household manner things like that seem to not, I won't say fear. It's not fear again. But they definitely like Miss Dreadmire definitely has a very strict way of things, but it's not in meanness or spite or anything. But there's a way, and they seem to catch that, and they respond accordingly.
Kind of, she's a hard ass, and they're not wanting to get on the backside, sort of thing.
Yeah, if anything, people seem more scared of her than Hans.
Got it. Okay. I'm good with that. I will. Quinn will just go, and they'll wait, sort of in an upstairs area where they can see who's coming out of their rooms, and wait for somebody else.
All right, I'm going to swing counterclockwise, so move it around. Ignatus.
Yeah, Ignatus is normally one that would sleep in, but since he wasn't out late at the Pendulum Club last night, I assume he gets up relatively early hours today.
Sure.
But he'll swing down and grab a cup of coffee, and he's interested in kind of exploring the house, particularly interested in any basement levels.
There is, though the staff warn you that they're not to go down there because there's a rat problem they haven't quite figured out yet.
Okay, we'll make note of that and just wander the halls. And, he's just concerned about the fact that, the previous family died, and he wants to make sure that this facility...
They didn't die here, though.
No,
they didn't all die here in the house. No, they all died elsewhere. No. That's but they all did die, and probably very horribly most of the cases. So the only one who did die in the house was your, I guess, great aunt. So Esten's sister did die in the house, but again, it was all reported as being natural causes. She died at 80. So.
Yeah, he's just going to take a tour of the house and just kind of make a note of everything and what's in the different rooms and see if anything stands out.
Again, it's mostly boxes. Nothing really. Again, the only thing that stands out is all the boxes are stamped with foreign languages, and obviously come from different locations from around the world. So, all right, Raven, how's your morning starting off? Oh, no, that's that moment I was going to say. Hold on, I'll get you. There you go. You're good now. Go for it. I got you.
Was I muted?
I muted you during the break. Sorry, that was me. That was
Understood. I would probably wake up early. Probably one of the first to wake up, and I kind of want to get a beat on like the staff and stuff, but from a mostly hidden perspective. So I'm trying to be in stealth mode and figure out, if I can hear any conversations or things like that going on.
I mean, you could go ahead and roll stealth if you want to see if anyone. It's good. It's good enough for really. They don't talk to each other much. Mostly, it's just like, are you doing the thing that Mr. Dreadmire wanted to do? Are you doing the thing? Have you been? Are you circling the area? Have you checked out this thing? Did you do what Hans asked you to do? Is the truck ready for driving the family in the town? That kind of stuff. It's mostly, again, they're kind of reading off of beats of and as you're stumbling around, you see in the kitchen area, there's basically a like to-do list of things for the staff, and there's names attached to it. It's very like organized, very precisely. So, but nothing stands out. If anything, occasionally, like again, because they're new and they're kind of bumbling, somebody will drop something or do something, not break anything, thankfully, but like, and they'll like they'll swear, but it'll be like in a different language. Like you could tell that Vesapon is their second language. All of them have like a slight accent to what they say. None of them, again, the more you kind of sneak around and follow them, even Quinn, your observations of them is that they are not like from they're not locals. If anything, they're new to the city and probably the country. So,
all right. So then I'll just kind of mosey around, waiting for everybody else, and kind of again still watching, seeing if I can catch anything.
All right. Cuckoo, Peryn, how's your morning prayers going?
So
there? With your
when
glass
Peryn
of
got
orange
it,
juice that might be orange or might not be orange juice.
when he
You
got
don't
up, he kind of got up in a bit of a panic because he woke up an hour later than he normally would, and then he realized
The beds are
he's-
that comfy.
Yeah, well, he also realizes that he's not in the church housing anymore, and he
Mhm.
doesn't have the responsibilities he did. So he's like, "Okay, I can calm down now." Then he starts to do his morning prayers and starts to kind of smell the breakfast. And once he does that, he has to find something a little bit more presentable to wear, and kind of walks out into the rest of the house to see if to see what's going on there, see if he runs into anyone else, or I imagine it's mostly the staff.
Well, everyone seems to be an early riser around here. So except for so like you probably bump into somebody at some point in time while you're not you're in your casual clothes, not your
Yeah, I'd be in my casual clothes at this point.
You're not your Church of Astra pajamas.
No, well, no, I'm
Right.
not in the mystical pajamas.
Okay, that's fair. Was there like the mousy servant kind of brings you like orange juice and coffee or whatever. Can I get you anything else?
No, actually, the juice and the coffee are really good. Thank you for your hospitality.
It's so good to have someone of the faith here. I'm
Well,
glad
if
you're
you,
here.
well, I'm actually glad to be here. If there's anything if you need any help, or if you want to have like a small sermon of yourself and anybody else who's of the faith, I'll be more than happy to kind of discuss things with them as well, or possibly a scripture reading, or if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to do that, to help you with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, so I noticed there was a chapel here. Do you maybe know if there's a place that the items in that room might be better suited, or might be able to be shifted around?
Well, probably the basement once you get rid of the rats. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Is there anybody I'd bring that up to, or?
Well, no, we're working on it. We're working
Oh.
on it. We're just trying to convince one of the other staff to go do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if there's any help, if you need any help, I'll be more than happy to help you.
We might. We'll just have to see how bad the rats actually are.
Okay. I will. May Tal bless you and keep you.
Thank you, Reggie. How's your morning?
So I
Pajamas?
think
No pajamas.
no pajamas. I think Reggie's, because it's not her home and she doesn't entirely, she's not comfortable with Esten. She probably slept in her clothes, but sleep is the wrong word. It's that kind of sleep where you close your eyes and you pretend you're sleeping, but every noise jolts you back awake. So when she starts hearing people moving around the house, she'll go down to the kitchen and grab some more gin and pour it into some coffee, which tastes horrible, but it'll knock off the alcohol she had the night before. Is Esten around talking? Is he up talking to anybody that I could listen in on?
He's not out and about yet.
Okay, then I will catch a glass that a servant is dropping on the way out to the front to see what sort of people are moving around in the neighborhood around the house.
So outside, so there's not a lot of I mean, again, the estate. So the house is quite large. As somebody pointed out, that one of the washrooms is quite gigantic. That Esten has not found yet. Otherwise, he would be using it all the time because it's ginormous. but it is the property itself is huge, and quite large, and there's a benefit to that, is that if anybody were to actually try to sneak up onto the grounds or try to get in or whatever, it would take them quite a bit of time to actually get to the household itself. So defensively, it's great. But that also means that like you also don't have like neighbors for quite some space, and those neighbors also have very large land and everything else. So like again, this is the Richie Snooty, like, yeah, these are not like McMansions that are right on top of each other. These are like actually large, expansive houses.
All right,
Think
so
more
there's not a lot of like street traffic or anything like that either.
Definitely not. There occasionally you do see the city-state police driving through, but that's just because it's a patrol area and they like to protect this area because it's where all the rich people are. Like you don't see, and you don't see these kind of police usually in the main city itself. Like also the police here don't wear so it's very typical for the police within the city to wear masks and like coverings. Here the police don't do that. They have no problem with showing their faces and so forth. Like people do know them by their name. It's very common within the city itself for the police to wear masks. If you see a police officer in the city at, say, a bar or a location, and they don't have their mask on, it's because they feel very comfortable where they are and they can get away with whatever they want to do where they are without their masks on. So it's a thing. So
all right,
that may come up.
Good to know. I'll have Reggie will shudder just a little bit at the comfort of the cops in the area.
Yeah. And so and then as far as, but it otherwise, again, it's the staff kind of, there's not, you count besides Miss Dreadmire, and this is for everybody, you count besides Miss Dreadmire and Hans, there are 6 staff members there. So there's the one little mousy one that you met, and then 5 others, and they all kind of like, one does cooking, one does most of the housekeeping, one was that. So there's one that looks obviously like a kind of handles general like fixing and is a handyman kind of style, but not like a full on like repair worker, right? Like, I mean, not like building worker. Like he probably takes care of like the car and the plumbing and things like that, general repairs of the house. So, and there's one looks like a pretty good runner. And it handles messages and so forth. Like, so anything that needs to leave the house until the rookery is fixed up, probably does a lot of the delivering of messages and things. I mean, there is phones and there are like things like that too, but personal deliveries, packages, things like that, they basically have their own in-house delivery person.
I'll go around and just, like I said, if it, because I'm used to people in the service industry, if I see someone dropping something, I'll try to help. Or
no, they appreciate. They say thank you or whatever.
Just
like,
try to get some names and stuff.
Oh, sure. Well, names it is.
All right.
So the mousy, I was prepared for names. I wasn't prepared for a lot of other things. So the mousy one who's been the most helpful for me all is she goes by Fief. The handyman, groundskeeper, is Darek. The cook is Tern. And then looks like an estate guard is Sen. And then another house attendant is Arula. And the messenger is Kessa.
All right. So I'll make sure that I'm taking the time to meet all of them and get their names and do that whole social thing.
Well, they really appreciate it. And they're all very apologetic, and they're all very, very like, you may not, again, you're not used to it because you're usually on the service side of it, but they're like, like they know that you are the granddaughter of the master of the house. And so you could tell that they're overly like trying to impress you, but like also not offend you and everything like that. And again, anytime they mess up anything, they usually end up saying something in a language that's not Vesipon.
Just anytime they think me, it's not necessary. You're doing a wonderful job.
And then they thank you again. And then they go about their works. So Farank.
Farank has quite the opposite. He would like to ring the bell in his room for the servants to come and bring him his coffee this morning.
There's no bell, but there's definitely you have somebody who basically hears the minute any of you kind of are moving and so forth. If you're for whatever, you can kind of get a knock and you can send them away or whatever. But there's always somebody kind of like circling around to kind of like take care. So they bring you your coffee, no problem.
Excellent, and a nice pastry or something along those lines. If there's one available, that'd be delicious. Thank you.
Oh yeah, they get you paid. Do they ask if there's a particular flavor you were looking for or anything like that? They'll try like they try to prepare as best they can. The Esten says we'll have a much better household soon. It's it's the best we can do on short notice.
I'm sure quality will improve over time. That's fine. Thank you. And then Farank will get up at his normal time, which is somewhat early in the morning because he's a company man. I did notice on the way in that there. Oh, actually, yeah. Well, pardon me. I noticed on the way in there were some stables outside. Are they? Is there a stable master?
Not anymore. There used to be carriages, but we don't use those. The family hasn't used them in quite some time, and so the carriage houses are in disrepair. And in order to have, they could be repaired. But I would probably suggest they be modernized for more vehicles. But
that would be certainly convenient, considering how far away the estate is here from the rest of the city.
You wouldn't even believe we were even in the city all the way out here.
Is there a driver if we do need to get into town?
Well, I wouldn't call him that, but Hans can deliver you in town. Yes.
Hans. Okay. All right. Good to know. And the rookery is not functional currently.
No, not yet. We need to improve that. No, right now, Torvin is kept just with Esten, but we do receive ravens all the time, but it's just not as Esten says, it's not the full functionary that a proper rookery should have.
I see. Yeah. Well. I mean, if you're receiving things, then I'll just send a dispatch out. Then, so I'll put together just a letter to Rock and Winters, just to kind of explain that I've been requested to stay on site and won't be reporting to the office over the next weeks, and just kind of filling them in on all of the information that's been going on, and fold it up and using my parliamentary delivery.
All right. And you fold up your little piece of paper and you put it, basically anywhere near the rookery is fine. There's a raven comes in and picks it up and kicks it off. Yeah.
And then, I guess I'll make my way downstairs at that point. Am I putting on the same outfit I had on yesterday? Oh, I guess. Well, I'll have to. Hans it is, I guess. So I'll go find Hans at some point.
Yeah. So yeah, basically by this point, everyone's kind of up and about doing their things. Hans is in his very pristine dress again, iron pants, perfectly put together vest and sleeveless shirt with the jacket over, and on his suspenders the House of Skye symbol. Yeah. And then you see, but he's not too far off from Miss Dreadmire at this point, and they're talking and discussing. At this point, Esten comes out, and not in his formal attire that he was in. He's more in his he's in his pajamas, his silk pajamas with his like overcoat, like smoking jacket, and he's got his very nice cane, and Torvin is on his shoulder, and he walks about and he goes, good morning. How is everyone this morning? I hope you all slept well and are ready for the activities of the day. If you're ready, I believe Hans will take you into the city. He can help you gather your things if you wish to stay here, and make sure that they all get put into your homes, your rooms properly. And then also you can perhaps do some of the visiting of individuals today and pass on, start the work. I would ask one thing. When you're doing this, do not separate from each other. It is important, I believe, that you be seen together while you do these things, so that people learn to recognize you as House Skye. To do so on your own doesn't give it quite the weight that it needs to.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Sure, certainly.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to get myself a coffee and perhaps read today's paper. If you need anything, I will be in my meeting room. But otherwise, I wish you all good luck today, and again, welcome to the family.
Family, right. Where you all want to go first?
Do any of you have any contacts that might help smooth over these conversations?
I got some contacts for the Court of Rats.
I have contacts in the Brass Consortium. I don't think that that task is going to be very hard, it seems. Doesn't seem like there's a bunch of troubled water there, so might be able to get in and out quickly. But I also don't know if that's the sort of thing we want to set up first before we know if there's going to be a big fancy party.
I mean, the party hall has boxes and things in it, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we clear that out first, or that gets cleared out first.
Less than the chapel, though. Less than the chapel.
Yes, I'm aware.
Right.
And when you say you don't know there's going to be a soiree, you hear in the background from Esten, "Oh, there's going to be a party. I guarantee you that." That's
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you want to head to town, and I'll see if I can get word to the court.
Seems like a plan.
Figure out when the king's available,
I'd love
and
to get
if he'll see us.
change of clothes.
Yeah, I was planning on just picking up some more things since I'm going to be staying here. I wasn't really expecting that, but
Yeah, we can run errands too.
Yeah,
I can take you everywhere you need to go, and then I would suggest we go by your homes if you are going to stay and pack up a few things. Then while you're handling stuff, I can deliver it back here.
Do we need to stay together to go to our prospective homes?
No, I would say I could just drop you in the center of the town. I believe that will get you close enough to where everyone lives.
Good.
It's amazing how that map works.
Right, then
Close enough.
let's head out.
Hans leads the way. Again, large man, but not lumbering. Like just moves through the house to the large truck. There is room in the front for two. Otherwise, everyone else needs to pile into the back. But there is flat seating on the sides. Again, it looks like it's for a mix of transporting goods and perhaps people. So,
Okay. I will hop in the back.
Yeah, Raven also hops in the back.
I don't have any problems hopping in the back either.
Ignatus will hop in the front.
Ignatus looks at Farank, taps the front seat.
Reggie, obviously ladies first, if you would like to ride in the front.
No, it's fine. You can do it. You're fancier.
Oh, thank goodness. I mean, yeah, of course, yes. So I'll hop in the front.
Hans Butters saw how that was going to go, and starts up the truck and just pulls out of the estate. It takes, again, it's about 30 minutes to get back into the city itself. You're basically, you passed a lot of really nice houses. That during the day, like the houses are even nicer. Like at night, you could tell that they were nice houses, but you could tell that, like, while your estate is probably the largest estate in the area, it is also the shittiest right now compared to all the other houses in this neighborhood. And you all have a lot of work ahead of you to get it to a place of real standing amongst these people.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get into the city proper, he drops you off near the Lowlander, which is pretty close to where everybody lives because it's respectively close to the Pendulum. So he says if you like, I can come pick up your stuff, like pick you up. I know where you all live. I know you don't necessarily want everyone to know where each other lives. I can come pick up your stuff in about so many minutes, and then we can all meet here respectively, and you can decide where you want to go from there. That way you don't have to lug your equipment and things around.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go about your
Sounds good.
homes. And then you all scamper off. And then
Go to your home.
Scampering like a rat.
exactly. Go to your house. And then as you get to your respective homes, let me know if there's anything particular you want to do. Otherwise, I'm assuming it's just packing up some stuff, and then as Hans comes, grabs the stuff, puts it in the back of the truck, and then you all meet back at the. So if you're doing anything special, let me know at this point. Otherwise,
I bring most of my weapons, but I will leave the bat in my closet. Just in
okay,
case.
sure. Well, having a weapon on hand is good way to go.
It's a good use of them.
Yeah.
I don't
will-
have a. Oh, good.
No, you go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say I don't have a lot of stuff, but I do want to run by Father Vizenzi
Mm-hmm.
and see if he's up and about or.
He is. He's doing his thing.
Okay, all right. I'd like to kind of visit him beforehand. So I go up to his office and kind of like knock on his Father,
Yes.
are you available or?
I can make time for you as always, son.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
I just was checking in on you. So I am about to take on the position as the advisor for the Skye household, and I just wanted to touch base with you. You knew his sister well, right?
Correct. Yes, I was their confessor. Yes.
Yes. I know that you had mentioned that you didn't know him well, but you had heard stories. I haven't run into anything troubling there. Are you sure maybe he hasn't? Those stories are maybe just stories. Maybe he's changed.
I doubt he's changed. He was a debaucherous fool. That's all I remember. And his sister constantly worried about him and his virtues, and that his tendencies to fall in love with everyone he met was a problem, and not one good for the family.
Well, I mean, there's nothing really. I didn't see anything that would cause any dismay. I mean, the household chapel seems to be a bit in disarray, but I'm taking it as my personal responsibility to make sure that that's at least helped, so it's cleared out.
That would be helpful. He held to a lot of old time beliefs, and I think it only got worse as his time outside of the city and the country lengthened.
Old time beliefs.
Foolish things. The ways before, people believed a lot of strange things back in the day, and so he has a tendency to comment on things that I would say are inappropriate.
Well, I haven't seen really anything of the sort. So, but again, I'm there as a counsel, so I'm there to make sure that he maintains the path that he's meant to be on.
Good. That is what we need. In fact, we need him to be on the right path. He has the potential of being someone very influential within the city. And just I, but the council, the government would not want to see someone leading others astray.
Well, I will make sure that Zella's light shines as a beacon for the path that he should follow.
Excellent.
Is there anything? Do you need any help, or is there anything I could do before I leave?
No, your duties are your duties now. Go tend to House Skye and make sure that they follow the light.
Thank you. I will. Use your blessing. And at that point, I kind of like turn and slowly close the door and head back to my quarters to get the rest of my stuff.
Yeah, Hans is ready to lift up your stuff and just kind of.
It's like maybe a suitcase and a duffel bag.
Yeah, he overestimates how much your stuff weighs. Kind of jerks it up way too fast, and goes, "Oh, I would have figured you had more." All right.
No, I'm in the priesthood. Probably not.
You'd be surprised. And then takes your stuff to the truck, and then goes meet you at the meeting spot, I guess.
Okay.
So. Anyone else do anything else? You're all back at the meeting spot. Everyone's nodding. Okay, meeting spot. You're back at the meeting spot, and there Hans goes. So which of the who do you wish to deliver gifts to first? And you can see that in the back of the truck, he has a number of boxes to hand out. It's like, I don't recommend taking all of these right now, so I can keep these here.
I'm gonna have to talk to somebody to see if we can get in. So I'm just gonna jump in to the Lowlander real quick and see if I can get a hold of someone.
All right. Over at the Lowlander, you see, somebody from your crew is there. Somebody that can. Hey, Quinn, what's up?
Hey, look, I need to get a message to the king.
Okay, what's the message?
I got something to give him. On behalf,
he likes gifts.
I know, right?
Yeah.
On behalf of House Skye.
I don't know what that means, but sounds good. Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
But can you run and see what you can find out, and I'll be back here in say an hour.
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
All right, thanks.
And they finish a drink, and then you see them put on their hat and then go off. So.
And while I'm there, I'm gonna get a drink as well.
Yeah, they assume they already had you poured and ready.
Nice.
To go.
And I'll just shoot it, and then they head out back to the meeting place.
All right. Then if you are going to meet with the Rat King, then he hands you this box. It's not overly large. It's probably big as a bread box size, maybe. We'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
After
Quinn-
after oh yeah, go on because you're gonna go
Quinn
back.
takes it and kind of hooks it under their arm.
Yeah. So, do you know anybody else when it goes particular places? I don't. Again, these are, I won't say crazy valuable, but I would not recommend losing them.
Well,
I
didn't-
think
So-
we'll-
He did say we should all
Stick
go
together.
together.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I'm still saying, perhaps carrying all of the gifts with you to a location would not be advised.
Ah,
Well, if the Rat King's going to see us, let's just go knock it out.
Well, we gotta wait to find out if he's got time. I told my guy about an hour.
Okay.
okay.
An hour.
After the hour is up, I'll head back with the group.
Yeah.
Or are you going to look in the
uh,
box before you hand it to the king? Don't you want to know what it is?
No, that's somebody else's job. I'm not opening it. It might explode.
Yeah, do you want to be the one who blew up the king? That's kind of the point. I would want to at least.
Well, I mean,
Right.
we're going to be there when he opens it, so we'll know what's in it. But before it gets to him, it's got to go through other hands first, and I'm not qualified.
I can take a look if you want, or I'm sure Raven can.
That's what I was thinking.
I feel like we're in pretty safe territory here. If this was all an elaborate plot by Esten to have us blow up the Rat King, I don't know.
also don't-
That feels a little far fetched to me.
Aren't
It
you
feels
all
a bit
his-
counterproductive.
Aren't you all his heirs? Most of you. Why that wouldn't make sense for him to want to blow everybody up?
I'm
Right?
not saying he's necessarily going to blow us up, but do you want to make sure you're not giving the Rat King a head of one of his compatriots, or who knows what's in that?
No, I
box?
mean, somebody.
Not big
Look,
enough for
if
that.
I open it, then suppose there's something set up in it that goes off or something, like a confetti or something, right?
There is a seal on the box itself, right? So
Oh,
it's an
okay.
open a box that can open, but there is basically like wax seals on it.
I can't break this without him knowing. And if he finds out that I looked at his shit before he got to look at it, how do you think that's going to go?
Can I see the box for just a quick second?
You going to open it?
No.
Okay.
I gently shake it. What does it sound like?
It sounds like another box inside, metallic. No. I mean,
Yeah.
hold on, and it also sounds like there's some coins inside.
Sounds like money.
Right. So I still say it's not going to go over well if I take a box with a broken seal to the court.
Understood.
I mean, if you want to check the others, that's fine. I ain't putting my ass on the line and pissing off the Rat King. We got a way of doing things.
I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. It's money. I don't know anybody who turns their head up at money.
Any objections?
Nope.
Nope.
That's what I thought. All right.
The Rat King will meet you
He will.
after
All
you've
right.
had your conversation. You've gone
Yeah,
into the yeah. He'll meet you at the Rat's Nest.
Great. Thanks.
I'm sorry, the what?
Rat's
The Rat's
Nest.
Nest.
You're a lucky group. Come with me. And I will lead them towards the Rat's Nest. As we're walking, you kind of notice Quinn's attitude starts kind of dying down, and they're getting a little more serious. And they lead the group there.
It's like a quick walk. It's right down the street from the Lowlander, so it's not too far. You you get to the rat's nest. It's located in Settlers Hill, which used to be a really nice neighborhood until certain people moved in. And this building used to be the epitome of the nightlife within the city. It definitely had another name before the rat's nest. And if you look closely, you can kind of see it still underneath the signage, and it says Queenie's. And but the bar is it's even though it's during the middle of the day, there aren't a bunch of people there, so it's pretty quiet. But there are basically folks working there. It's not as glamorous as some of the other establishments, but it's definitely nicer than the Lowlander. So there are a few brass consortium entertainers there, basically practicing. There's people working the bar, the servants, and so forth like that. But it's quiet. It's for the rat's nest because it's not nighttime. However, far in the back, there's an area that's kind of like up on a lifted up and overlooking the entire scene of the rat's nest. Is a man, a large man, built not too dissimilar to Hans, though not as prosthetic. Like if you removed all the prosthetics from Hans, you'd guess that it'd probably be about like this gentleman. And he has one prosthetic arm, and on the table, while he's smoking a cigar, he has a little automaton rat that he's kind of like tapping on the head with his prosthetic.
Quinn takes their hat off.
Yeah. and
Elbow Raven.
take her hat off.
Yeah.
And then and as you're waiting there, a man you recognize Quinn as being one of the higher level members of the court. A man named Juno Swan walks up and he's like, "So Quinn, here you have a gift for the boss."
Yeah, on behalf of Esten Skye.
Yeah, the boss sounded really interested when he heard that name. I know you had mentioned it to him before. So.
Yeah, look, I've never directly. Quinn says this very softly. Look, I've never directly interacted with him. What do I call him?
The king.
Just the king, not your majesty or anything?
You say your majesty if you wish. Yes.
All right, thanks. Here's the box.
Oh, no, you can give it to him.
All right. Somebody else going to open it? I don't know what's in this thing.
The king doesn't seem worried at all about it.
All right. Good enough for me. Everybody come this way.
As you approach, there's people. The people at the bar are now starting to take notice of all of you, and the fact that you are having a direct audience with the Rat King. He's sitting back, doesn't even he recognizes you all, but he doesn't react or anything. He simply looks over you all and goes, "So, this is Skye's new family. Interesting. Quinn, what have you brought me?"
Your Majesty, I bring you a gift from Esten Skye himself. And I hold the box towards him.
He takes it, looks at it. Interesting. He looks at the seal. I had heard rumors. He picks them off and opens the box and pulls out, like I said, another box that you heard when you shook it. And it's basically it's a dented iron box. And as he opens it, you can see a number of cigars inside. And the smell is strong. It smells like gunpowder and spice. Almost as if like war wrapped in tobacco.
Nice.
And he's like,
any sign of the coins that?
Yeah.
Heard?
They're there. They're there. Yeah.
Okay.
You hear them shift a little bit as well. Right?
Okay.
He's like, this travel's really paid off for him. These are hard to get.
Yeah,
And
apparently
Oh, go on.
Yeah, apparently he traveled all over the place and has come back to attempt to rebuild his house.
Yeah, that's what the story is on the street. Curious to see if that's actually true. And he pulls out one of the coins as you're talking. Keep going.
I've seen the place. I actually was invited to move in.
Wow.
These two, and no. Who all was, I know.
Two grandchildren and one cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
These three are family to him. And then we got Skye here, the attorney, and that's the father.
He's doing everything proper. I see. He's holding up a coin, and it's gold, and it shines. And so it's obviously been treated with alchemical turnstone.
Mm-hmm.
And on one side, you see the House of Skye symbol on the back. And on the other side, you just see a large stylized M. Mm-hmm. He's like, So, we're playing this game. And then he pulls up another coin and he holds it up. And it's steel. And on one side, you see a symbol of a rat, the court of rat symbol. And on the other side, you see a crown, but it's not a king's crown. It's a queen's crown. And he puts that down. He picks up another coin similar to the one with the queen's crown. He's like, interesting gift. I accept it for now. He's not in my good graces yet, but this goes a long way.
Understood. I'll take the message back. Anything else you want me to tell him?
Tell him I accept the terms of the game, and I'm willing to play.
All right. Consider it done. We got some other gifts that we got to go deliver. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
I'd be curious to hear if there are similar prizes.
Of course. I will let you know what we find out.
Thank you, Quinn. And pleasure to meet your family.
So far, they seem pretty decent. Even the father.
I expect no less from a man of the cloth.
By your leave?
Of course.
And Quinn kind of backs away and then turns and walks, and still sort of holding themselves sort of broader and more rigid than you've seen them when they're in a casual setting. And
do you see as you're leaving, you see him holding the 3 coins and kind of is playing with them or whatever. But he doesn't so much look at the one with the House of Skye. He looks at the one with the Queen's crown, the Queen crown on it. And
who was the who led the court before the king?
Why don't you make a history roll for
me? Character sheet. Bloop.
Okay. So before there was a king, there was a queen, and her name was Queenie, and she ran this space. And you know that Queenie, the rat's nest was formerly known as Queenie's. Now, what happened to Queenie? Many rumors float about how her time in charge of the Court of Rats came to an end. Some say it was amicable, some say it was violent, some say it was what it was. But there is a place within the rat's nest still where there's a picture of Queenie, and there are candles lit in her memory. So You do also know that Juno, who you just spoke to, was her nephew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to know. I'm going to tuck that away to bring up at another time.
Yeah.
And I'll lead everybody back outside unless anybody tries to dally or stall or anything.
As I pass Quinn, or as Quinn passes me, I tap him on the shoulder and go, you know, I'm actually an acolyte. I'm not a father.
I know. He knows too. Trust me.
So, what, any idea what kind of a game he's talking about?
Let's head outside.
Oh, yeah, sure. I just thought.
And as we're leaving, Quinn just kind of tosses glances at a couple folks with a almost threatening look and leads the group out. Once we get outside, they just kind of lean against the wall and take a deep breath.
You did real good.
We just met with the king. I didn't expect we'd be able to do that. Thanks, Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make our way and walk, and I'll fill you in on some stuff. And once we start moving and we're away from the building and ears, Quinn keeps an eye out as they start talking and look for anybody that's paying overdue attention.
Yeah, you're fine. I want to make you roll for that. You're familiar with this area enough, and with Raven and everybody else, you're all probably keeping eyes on stuff that's going on. So I'm willing to say that you don't see anything out of the unusual or out of the ordinary going on. So yeah, you're in safe space within the.
Okay. So prior to the king ruling the court, there was a queen. Funny enough, her name was Queenie. And I think that was a token of hers, maybe, or something that had to do with her. But beyond that, I don't know. The king keeps things pretty close to the chest. The fella I was talking to before we went up there, though, might be able to talk to him and get a little more insight on what that coin may have meant. But better to do that away from the nest.
That makes sense.
Do we know when the king took over? Would it happen to coincide with when Esten left the city?
No. Yeah, I mean, your history roll was good enough. I can tell you that it was Esten left the city, came back a couple times. Would have still been during Queenie's reign.
Mm-hmm.
The Rat King's been in charge though for quite some time, but it's probably about an even split between the two. So.
Nah, the queen would have been in place. Esten even mentioned that the king wasn't in place when he was last here, so I'm guessing that for all of his little visits he paid, it was always Queenie.
Relatively, I think just for clarification on that is the he probably come back what he implied was his interactions with the court were when Queenie was in charge. He's probably been back other times when Queenie wasn't, but he wasn't doing anything that he needed to bother with.
Okay. Well then, retcon.
Yeah, I just want to clarify.
Yeah, no, he said he only ever interacted with Queenie, so I'm assuming that that was his connection to the court. Then, so probably sometime after he last interacted with her would have been when the switch happened.
So I know you don't know, but I'm wondering if giving the coin is just sort of a olive branch or a nod to the king's power.
I don't know. He said something about the game, so.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
Yeah. I don't know what that game is, but might be able to find out something more from her nephew.
Is she not around?
Nah, she's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully all the rest of our deliveries will be just as easy. I
One
doubt
can
it,
hope.
but
All right. And because now it's a good time to fade out. So we'll fade out before we go on to the next deliveries. We'll pick up on your delivery mission from Esten Skye. Now that I think about it, you really did just put you on delivery mission. So yeah, there you go. So all right. Thank you everybody for joining us on the first episode. Few kinks, but we'll work them all out over the next few weeks. But tune in next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time on whatever platform, or catch us on Spotify a little bit afterwards. And if everyone just wants to give their call outs one more time of who our amazing players were tonight. So Copperpaw was played by
Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. Catch me on socials at Goblin Katie or on Blue Sky at goblinkatie.com. And can we plug?
plug everything.
Awesome.
Do all your plugins.
You can catch me on Sunday evenings on Players and Book here on Twitch. I play a wonderful, horrible, hot mess of a College of Eloquence bard currently named Tallulah. And it's a lot of fun. And then that's and tomorrow night
there you go.
You can catch me on a charity stream for Accessibility is Not Scary. And I can tell you that it's D&D 5e, and we're playing Scooby-Doo characters. I'm Velma.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing. So join us for that. And you can find more information on my socials.
It's true. And we try to share all of our players' socials. So, definitely if you're following us, you'll probably see a share for that too as well. But follow them on their socials. It's fun to do. Yeah. All right. And Farank Tern, played by
Matthew Bell. I'm on Instagram at I just created a new account, so it's a work in progress right now. So I do not have nearly anything going on like Katie does. I had a student film that came out recently that was kind of cool called Sugar, but I'll keep y'all posted whenever it becomes globally available. Otherwise, no, I will see you guys next week.
All right. And Reggie Wrenne, played by
Ariel Kasten. You can catch me on socials at Ariel Kasten, Kasten, no spaces or dashes or dots. You can check out my podcast, Large Nerdron Collider, at that handle. And I recently had a bit part in a movie called His Masterpiece that just came out on Tubi. So, go support that as well.
Excellent. And Peryn Kestai, played by? No, he's muted. So he's played by the muted person that's known as
Winston Clark. There we go. Okay. You can find me on my socials. I'm on Instagram at Subconscious Eye Studios, Blue Sky as well. It's subconsciouseye.bluesky.social. I have a webcomic called The Subconscious Eye, thus the name. And you can find that at subconsciouseye.com. There we go. Please check it out. It's awesome.
Excellent. And Raven, played by
Mandy, who you can find here on Tuesdays. I don't really have socials other than that, but
that's a pretty good place to find her. So find her here, and please do. And last but not least, Ignatus, played by
Matt Walsh. You can find me on most socials at Matt P. Walsh. But I got nothing else to plug, so that's the end of it. So,
well, tune in next week for more Ignatus, Ibison throwing shade on everybody else. So, and I guess last but not least, and last but not least is me, Christopher Mifsud, which you can find at the Magical Mr. Mifsud. Most places, though, I don't really share much there, but follow us on Planet Word Studios, wherever that all is. So anyway, thank you again for checking out our first episode, and we look forward to entertaining you, hopefully, in future weeks with more crazy family goodness. It's wholesome. All right.
It's wholesome. We got a nice camaraderie going.
We got this. All right.
Family motto: we got this.
We got this.
You can do this. You can do this.